Welcome back to Brent Does Baseball. I am Dan, joined here with Gary for another Rounders Roundup, I believe, right, Gary?
Yeah, it's our last one of the regular season.
Pretty historic. For those of you who are just listening and aren't viewing it, I am wearing sunglasses. It is a bit sunny in the apartment right here in southeastern Virginia, but I'm also wearing it because the baby birds are back. The Orioles are going on a World Series run in 2026, probably. Beavers hit a walk-off home run. Before that, Mayo hit a game-tying home run for the Orioles to win a very, very important game against the Tampa Bay Rays. Like I said, I think this is going to be a precursor to the Orioles lifting off to what I, kind of predicted at the beginning of the season, them to win the World Series. However, I was just 1 year off. That's my intro tangent, Gary, explaining the sunglasses.
Okay, yeah, for those of you that didn't make sense of that, Dan's wearing sunglasses because it's a little bit bright out. Meanwhile, it's 10 o'clock over in the UK, and we're approaching autumn and winter, which means I won't see sunlight again for the next 6 months. Welcome to the Rounders Roundup. You know the crack by now. It's the last one of the regular season. Bite-sized stories in a manageable half an hour recording episode. This week we've got a little bit of trivia for Dan. We've had a couple of weeks off recording. It's been nice, but we're approaching playoff season, business end of the season, and we're pumped and ready for our first podcast season with playoffs. Are you ready to rock and roll, Dan?
I am ready to rock and roll.
Your sunglasses show it. We're going to start with the American League West, and the winners of the division weren't the Houston Astros. It was the Seattle Mariners. For the first time since 2001, they took home the American League West crown. They've just been on some mad winning streak recently. They're 9-1 in their last 10. They've won 6 on the bounce, including beating the Astros at the weekend to really seal it. And I think they sealed it again, as you naturally would against the Rockies, which historically won't be the worst team in the history of baseball because they're up to 43 wins. So congratulations, Rockies. A bit overdue for the Mariners win, Dan. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, shout out to all the Mariners fans, I think, most importantly. They have a great fan base out there in Seattle. And you see Mariners fans all over the place, to be honest. I'm always seeing Mariners jerseys. The first game at Camden Yards I saw was against Seattle, and Julio Rodriguez robbed a home run. He's pretty electric out there. Looking at the team, right, pitching-wise, we talked about Logan Gilbert, but they've had a bunch of other guys really step up. Luis Castillo, but Caleb Ferguson, the lefty reliever. Bizzardo's been great at the bullpen. Great name, Emerson Hancock. Could be a future decent starter for him. And then, of course, Bryce Miller, George Kirby. You start naming the names. Brian Wu. Let me not forget about the big Wu. Pitching wins championships. And we'll get to, obviously, the hitting side. But I don't know. They are a little scary here, this Mariners team.
Yeah, special shout out to their closer as well, Andres Munoz, who's got 38 saves in 45 opportunities.
Fantasy baseball legend.
Yeah, 1.47 ERA. That's nasty. Ooh. 63 games. That's a closer, unfortunately. But yeah, you said I will special shout out to Brian Wu as well. He anchored woo, as Ric Flair would say. He anchored my fantasy baseball team this year. I had to drop him for the last week of the season because he was day to day. Even though I've heard he's come back, so I'm hoping that doesn't turn around to bite me in the arse. On the hitting side, Julio Rodriguez has been fantastic this year compared to a bit of a down year last year. Sitting there with 32 home runs, 95 RBIs. Randy Arozarena, 27 home runs, 74 RBIs. Jorge Polanco. That's a name. 25 home runs, very solid. I think there's only been one player that's been absolutely carving it up for him over there.
Ben Williamson.
Pardon?
Oh, I was going to say Ben Williamson. Why were you going to say something?
I was going to say Harry Ford, but the AL MVP, hopefully. Big dumper, Cal Raleigh, 60 home runs, 125 RBIs.
Oof.
Is he your MVP in the American League, Dan?
He's not, because Topps Chrome does an MVP buyback for their cards. So if you have like a base card of them and they win MVP, you get like $20, I think. So I have an Aaron Judge. I don't have any Cal Raleigh because they didn't print any Cal Raleigh. So how could Topps Chrome do such a thing? Come on, Fanatics. So no, he's not, because then I won't get the MVP buyback. But realistically, yes, and he deserves it. You just read off the stats, right?
Yeah, the hitting stats are incredible. I think the only thing really for Judge is the batting average and the
Yeah.
OPS. But the fact is, Riley's a catcher, switch hitting catcher, 60 home runs. Joins a select few number of players. I know the last one to do it was Aaron Judge back in 22, I want to say. He got to the 60 home run mark. If you're managing that pitching staff, he's playing every day, DH or catching, 60 home runs, you've got to give it to him. I'm sorry. Anyone
Yeah,
who says
just
no is
DH
lying.
him. Just DH him. You got Garver and Ford. Just DH him.
Yeah, save those knees. He's also stolen 14 bases. That's the big dumper.
Wow. Does he have a good? I've only seen the Mariners play in the series against the Orioles and a little bit against the Mets. Is he good defensively? Does he throw guys out?
Yeah, he won the Platinum Glove last year, I believe.
Okay. I mean, I knew he was good,
Yeah.
but it's kind of like, kind of anecdotal. I just haven't watched him as much defensively. Obviously, I know he can swing that fucking bat, and that's all that really matters at the end of the day. Let's be honest. I think this Mariners team. We didn't talk about Naylor, the trade piece, correct? Bringing in Josh Naylor. Oh, is that his brother?
No, Josh Naylor was the one.
Okay, I was getting confused. I think that was great for the infield. Unfortunately, my guy Ben Williamson, who I mentioned from William and Mary, lost his slot on the infield. Not necessarily from him. There's also Eugenio Suarez and Cole Young. I think he'd be a part of the future. Who knows? In the playoffs, guys get opportunities. That infield's looking solid enough, and I think their outfield and their pitching is a real strength, other than having arguably the best catcher in the history of baseball. Can you say that?
With or without juicing. But it's this year's been a good year. If he can back it up next year, then I think you have the conversation. But
Is this the best? Is this the best hitting season a catcher's ever had?
Non-juiced season, yes, absolutely.
I say, yeah, Mike Piazza would probably be my number 2.
Yeah, a bit before my time, Mike Piazza.
He invented pizza. Did you know that?
I'll take your word for it. I believe it. It's plausible. I don't know.
He brought pizza to New York. No.
Yeah. So Mariners fans, congratulations, rejoice, triding this up, and most importantly, you've Astros may not be making it to the postseason. But we'll circle back on that in a little bit.
I hope not.
I think the world hopes not.
Yeah.
Moving across to the National League, the wildcard race. Now, me and Cal, I've been away gallivanting around Europe as you do in the UK because I don't like my own country sometimes. So I've been to, on the continent, Portugal, Finland, Estonia, lovely places. And what I've learned during my time on this podcast, and what we've all learned, is that whenever someone on the Brit Does Baseball says, oh, this is going to happen, or this player's good, or this player's in a slump, the absolute opposite happens. So me and Cal sat here about 10 days ago and said, oh, the Giants are absolutely going to take that third National League wildcard spot. Mets are cooked. Reds aren't going to do anything. Diamondbacks are just there. Yeah, we were wrong. Incredibly wrong. I'm sorry. So the Giants are now mathematically eliminated from the wildcard race as Dan puts his glasses back on just to nod. So where we're currently at is the Cubs and the Padres will have, the Cubs have got the first wildcard spot at the moment. Padres second. They're locked in. They're going to go to the postseason. The Padres can still overtake the Dodgers for the National League West title. They're 2.5 games back from them with 3 games to play. It's going to be tough. So let's assume the Dodgers are going to win the West. The Padres are 2.5 games back behind the Cubs. The Cubs have got a game in hand who they're playing tonight against Dan's New York Mets. So that can go, we'll be minimum 2 games up and on with 3 games to go. And we've got the Cardinals coming into town. So I like to think that the Cubs will be playing postseason baseball at Wrigley Field. What's left to make up is, we've got the Brewers and the Phillies who are far and away the 2 best teams in the division. I think that's fair. With the 1 and 2 seed, the Brewers, I think, need to win 1 game to lock that up. But the last wildcard spot, honestly, this race has been going back and forth for the last 2 months. I mean, you thought the Giants were out of it, and they've come back and made a run. The Reds look dead and buried. They've come and made a run.
Heck of a run.
Yeah, the Reds have been phenomenal. Whatever happens, wherever they end up, this season's been a good season for the Cincinnati Reds. The Diamondbacks are, again, they're there, even though they sold at the deadline. Quite impressive. and Dan's New York Mets, who had a really, really good first half of the season. Second half, it's been a bit of a struggle, but they've kind of hit a little bit of form at the right time. Do you want to take this one, Dan, to talk about your Mets?
Yeah, it's been a heck of a year yet again. A funny quick story. I was at a wedding recently, and one of the families was from New York. So as I was meeting them, I was kind of asking them, like, Yankees or Mets, and this wedding was like a week ago, or I should say, probably now about 14 days ago, 2 weeks ago. Anyway, everyone was like Mets, not Yankees, and then I was like, oh, thank God. But then they're like, we effing suck. Everyone was so sad, so distraught. I put the sunglasses back on because they found a way to get the hope back. And I really do believe that they could do something here, but the Reds are a hot team. Terry Francona is a manager there. You got the Diamondbacks right on their heels. I got to be cautious with my optimism here. I do think that if they make it, they can do something special. But man, this is why I love baseball. And honestly, Gary, I'm a little sad that's ending soon. The regular season, at least.
Yeah, we've got the wild card magic coming up next week. So I've had a look at the last remaining schedule. So I'll start off with the Diamondbacks, who are currently 1 game back from the wild card. They're currently sitting with 80 wins, 78 losses. They are currently facing the Los Angeles Dodgers, and the Dodgers are beating them 8-0. So let's assume they're going to lose that one at the top of the 6th.
No, Dodgers are a weird team.
Yeah, they seem to get good and get bad at random.
Yeah.
Like they'll go get swept by the Pirates randomly. Anyway, so assume that the Diamondbacks will be on 80 wins after this game. Probably puts them a game and a half back from the Mets. And they go to the Padres for the last 3 games of the season. Padres can still do something in the NL West. They've still got something to play for. They can still get the home wildcard series. I don't think the Diamondbacks are going to do it. I think there's 2 good teams above them. So are we happy to sort of leave them at that?
Yeah, I think that's fair, Gary.
Yeah, I think 8-0 down at the top of the 6th is a bit not great.
Tanner Scott could come in, though, and you never know.
What, blow up a few leads? Yeah, that's true. That is true. That's true. Oh, good point. Great point. We'll move on to the Reds, who they beat the Pirates today 2-1. But they go to the Brewers, which is a bit worrying because even though they've been a bit of a bogey team for them, Milwaukee.
Brewers got nothing to play for, though,
Brewers
right?
have got nothing. No, they've got nothing to play for. All they've got to play for is the number 1 seed, and they only need to win 1 game. So I could see the Reds winning 2 in that series.
That's so bad for the Mets.
Well, to be fair, the Mets. So you've got the Cubs. So you've got 4 games left. You still got to play the Mets. Still got to play the
one
Cubs
more
tonight.
game, right? Yeah.
1 more game against the Cubs. It's going to be McLean versus Imanaga. That's quite a nice showdown.
Oh, we should do a live stream, Gary.
What? 1
It'll
o'clock?
be what, like 3 a.m. for you?
Yeah. So let's nip that in the bud. Yeah, we've got Cubs and Mets for 1 more tonight, and then you go to the Marlins for the last 3 games of the season. Now, the Marlins don't have anything to play for, but they have been sneaky decent this year. So, do you think? Okay, I'll ask you straight up. Do you think the Mets are going to make it into the playoffs?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
You can tell just the exude amounts of confidence I have.
Yeah,
it's like 51%. Yes, I mean, I think we got to win tonight, and I don't know. It's gonna be tough. We got to win tonight, and then we got to take. We're not going to sweep the Marlins. I've given up on that, but we might go 2-1. Marlins have our number a lot. I don't know why. I mean, we're the Mets.
Yeah, I mean, if you lose tonight, you and the Reds have got the same record, and I believe the Reds have the tiebreaker.
And I think the Reds have a better matchup with the Brewers than us versus the Marlins. I 100% think so.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to look at the rotations going into it, but you wouldn't have McLean going.
The Brewers are going to be trying not to get hurt. The Marlins, they're like, this is all we got. Burn the wheels. You know what I'm saying? Get those stats up, boys.
I know Alcantara has been pushed back to face you as one of the starters. So,
fantastic.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
So NL Wildcard race has been wild. Excuse the pun. But that's not the only race in the divisions. We've already mentioned we've got the Dodgers and the Padres, 2 games separating them for the NL West. It's a lot more exciting in the American League, though. So we've discussed the American League West. The Mariners have wrapped that up. They've got one of the top 2 seeds, barring an absolute miracle. But then you look east, and the Blue Jays, who we thought were cruising, and to be fair, they're 22 games over 500. So they've had a hell of a year.
Yeah.
Um,
Without Santander. Without like the biggest offseason signing.
Which has been wild. Did you see Alejandro Kirk got thrown out at first base yesterday? Single to
No,
right field.
I missed this.
Beefy boys playing baseball. Single to right field. Got thrown out at first base because who's the right fielder for? I think it was Abreu. I think it was the Red Sox. Yeah, Willie Abreu just.
He's got a good arm, but still.
It was tough. You just saw Kirk's. I think it was Barger ahead of him, and Barger's gone from first to second. Turned around and be like, "How have we just? Why is there an out there?
Yeah, what just happened?"
I think it was like a 9-0 blowout loss. So it didn't matter too much. But anyway, the Blue Jays, they have got a playoff spot, but the Yankees have kind of rediscovered their form. They share the division lead at 1968. I believe the Blue Jays have the tiebreaker, but I'd have to double check that. Whichever one wins the East will get one of the 1 or 2 seed. Whoever doesn't win the East will definitely be getting the top wildcard seed. So I think as it currently looks, we've got the Blue Jays and the Mariners with the 1 and 2 seed. The Guardians, we'll get onto the AL Central, but currently the Guardians are the winners of the AL Central. They'll play the Tigers in one wildcard matchup. And then the other one is pretty salivating. It's the Yankees Red Sox in the other wildcard matchup. So I guess a couple of questions. One, the wildcard matchups across all 4. I listened to a podcast earlier today that went through it. You've got the Guardians, Tigers, AL Central, best 2 teams. That'll be a good matchup. Yeah. You've got the Yankees, Red Sox, which is just phenomenal. And then on the other side, you've got the Cubs and Padres. Both have had good years. I think that's a really nice matchup. And then you've got a replay Dodgers versus the Mets in the NLCS from last year. So that's just a feast for any baseball fan in the wildcard series.
Any sports fan, goodness gracious.
That wildcard Tuesday is going to be phenomenal.
It is. It makes me a little sad that you're telling me that like 3 teams from the AL East are going to make the playoffs and none of them are the Orioles. I was like, wow, that is something, guys. But anyway, I digress.
Yeah. So what do you think? Who's going to take home the AL East? I guess is the first question: the Blue Jays or the Yankees?
Blue Jays could get it done, and they should get it done. Losing streak right now, and they're 4-6 in their last 10. They got turned around. I do think they get it done. I forget who they're playing here in the last stretch of games.
So they've got one more with Boston, and then they've got their home to Tampa Bay.
That's right. Yeah, sweep Tampa Bay, get it done. But that's one of those ones where if they make any mistakes or take any – right, if they lose 2 games, the Yankees could win it. So they got to be essentially perfect, which sucks for them. But at the same time, I mean, I think that difference, that wild card slot there versus getting the bye. I mean, the Red Sox are – no one wants to face the Red Sox in the playoffs right now.
Not in a free
series,
no.
Yeah, I mean, they're going into Fenway because that's what they do it, right? It's home, away, home, right? 3 games.
No, it'll be home. It'll be whichever team all plays at all home, so you won't be going.
Oh, really?
Yes, they'll be hosting them, but you'll have Garrett Crochet in one of the games.
Yeah, no, Red Sox are still tough, but it's interesting they get it straight home. All right, well, that actually makes it a little different then. I do think the Blue Jays are going to, for them to make a run, they're probably going to want to get that 1 seed, or at least the AL East. You don't want to be down muddling in that wild card. Strange things happen.
No, totally agree. I mean, the Yankees have got one more with the White Sox tonight, so that's going to be a wash. And then you guys can trip them up. They play the Orioles at Yankee Stadium.
I was thinking about it's funny. I had that on my calendar as planning to go to that game. We never bought tickets, and not that I'm glad I didn't, but we thought it was going to be a little different season. I would love them to be the spoiler. I mean, that would be the only saving grace of the season for the Orioles at this point. Excuse me.
Yeah, again, I don't know who the rotation is. I know that Rodon goes tonight, so it won't be him. I suspect Max Fried will probably go in that series.
We got a new guy, Cam Schittler. Have you heard about him?
He's good.
He is good.
Yeah. Still got Will Warren, or is he?
Hell of a name. I think they still have Will Warren.
Yeah, he's not great. Bring back Marcus Stroman.
No,
that's what.
Dude, that guy.
Yankees, yeah.
Sure, yeah. Who doesn't want a 5.8 pitcher?
I would love it. What, ERA or high or both?
Yeah, but his height and the ERA, exactly. But that's funny. That's a good one.
So we've discussed the West, we've discussed the East. The Red Sox can be a nasty team.
Yeah.
The Central, I think the biggest choke in all of baseball this year, fair to say, the Detroit Tigers.
Yeah.
14-game lead, and now 1 game behind for the lead for the Guardians.
Yeah, now when you look at their roster, maybe it's like, remember the beginning of the season, we're like, wow, are they geniuses? And now it's like, what the fuck? Like, you got Javi Baez and outfield. Like, what are you guys doing? Kerry Carpenter now is kind of taking over center field. The team sort of has lost their identity. Well, also they don't have like a very good catcher, which they do it like by committee, and that's fun and everything. But now that I think about it, some of the teams that win championships, most of the time you got a pretty rock solid catcher offensively or defensively, or ideally, right, a great mix of both. And then I feel like their pitching is very top heavy. Obviously, Skubal is, Tariq Skubal. He's the man, but it does drop off. I don't know. Maybe the Tigers just being the Tigers. I think they weren't as good as they were playing early on, if that makes any sense. But just beat out the Astros, get in the wild card, and then I do think they lose in the playoffs for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it'll take a lot for So the Tigers have got one more with the Guardians tonight. So I think if the Guardians win that, then that's probably the division gone. You got 2-game lead with 3 games to go.
Yeah. Tigers could win it though.
Yeah, but Tigers then go to Fenway for 3 against the Red Sox to end
Ooh.
in the season, whilst the Guardians are at home to the Rangers. So
much good baseball.
Yeah, there's a lot more. At this point in the season, you'd think there'd be more stuff wrapped up, but that's why baseball's such a wonderful sport. The fact is, we are 4 days away from the end of the regular season, and there are still so much up for grabs. There's only been like 3 of the divisions are still up for grabs, mathematically. In reality, probably 2, because I think the Dodgers are going to win that one. But yeah, what a season! Have you enjoyed it overall? Has it been a good year for baseball as a whole? Orioles have not been great, but have you enjoyed the regular season this year?
I have. It is funny. Like, it is the home run era almost now. No hitters this year in baseball. I think it's been a while since we've had that. Which, excuse me, I appreciate the no hitters from a baseball perspective, but they are a little boring. Especially live. Especially if it's the away team. Yeah, I think overall it's like, if anything, an 8 or 9 out of 10 year for baseball. I think they kind of knocked it out of the park. I think you have the international influence with Latin America, and then the Japanese stars, and then obviously a lot of prospect call-ups. I know everybody's like, the rookie class is kind of weak or getting weaker. At least you see that in the sports card world. I don't think so. I think there's tons of good youth. Like, look at, talk about the Mets, Nolan McLean, right? Brandon Sproat, young pitchers who are coming up and making a difference. Jonah Tong, although he got shelled the other day. You see that?
Yeah, he's playing the Cubs. He got absolutely
before
the Cubs as well. He's been Jekyll and Hyde, didn't he, Jonah Tong? But he's had really good stats at AAA.
He's young as shit, yeah. But no, it's a fun time to be a baseball fan. And Gary, I don't know if you've seen an influence of people asking you about baseball, or I did. Like, people I didn't even know like baseball. They were talking about, he lived in Cleveland. He's like, man, Jose Ramirez, he's having a great couple weeks. And I was like, dang, I didn't even know you followed baseball. But of course, you live in Cleveland.
Yeah, it doesn't really hit as much over in the UK. You don't get people chatting about it as often. But there's definitely a buzz around, especially with sort of all the British teams' success at the Euros this year. So yeah, it's been a good. I think it's been the most enjoyable year for me. Nice. Cubs. I mean, for me, it's more. You've got 2 teams, whereas I'm like, I want the Cubs to do well. I don't want the Dodgers to do well. Dodgers, I thought were going to win 130 games. That hasn't happened. Life is good. Anyway, we're going to end this episode of the Rounders Roundup with a bit of trivia. So, Dan, are you ready?
I am ready. Don't you put the sunglasses back on?
You can put the sunglasses back on.
Let's do it.
Whilst he's doing it, I'll explain what's going on. So this was inspired by a fan of the show, friend of the show, Cameron Guzzo, who we did a recording/interview with a couple of months ago. If you've not seen it, check it out. It's a great episode. Cameron's known for kind of visiting like all of the MLB ballparks, does a load of food content, designs his own jerseys content, and he posted a video the other day. I've called this trivia, it's called the Splash Zone, which I know Dan saw the message for earlier, but I'm now going to explain what it is. And this is based on Cameron's latest video. So what I want, Dan, is I want a list of all the ballparks where if you hit a home run, the ball can land in water.
Ooh.
Now, couple of caveats, because so Cameron did a video and he mentioned about 11 or 12 stadiums. I've done it so that a home run has actually hit the water. So, as an example, I'll give you a spoiler. Commercial Park, above the Commercial Park sign, there's like a little mini lake, or it's like a man-made fountain. In theory, someone could hit a baseball into that.
Comerica Park?
Comerica Park, sorry.
It's okay. No, I'm fucking with you.
The Detroit,
What is he talking about? Okay.
The Detroit Tiger Stadium, there is the possibility that you could hit a ball into the fountain at the top of the sign, but no one's done it, so that's not on the list.
Fair.
I've got 9 ballparks, so I want the name of the ballpark. You get a bonus point if you tell me kind of what the water feature is, but I'll also accept like whose home stadium it is.
Okay.
So there's 9 of them, I reckon.
Okay.
I reckon there's 2 or 3 tough ones. So whenever you're ready.
All right, so I'll go first. Diamondbacks with the hot tub pool combo in left field.
Chase Field, hot tub. Yes, that's one.
All right. Then we're gonna go McCovey Cove, right field of San Francisco Giants, Oracle Park.
Correct. That's 2 for 2.
All right, now it gets tricky. This is not a guess. I'm just talking. We're not gonna count the splash zone, Mr. Splash, at Camden Yards, because it is a splash, but that's not landing in water. So I'm not guessing that.
We're not counting Camden Yards.
Okay. I know this might sound stupid. I know I haven't been there, but Citizens Bank Park is on like an island of Philly. I never thought that could go in the water, but it sounds like a dumb guess. As I'm saying, it seems dumb, but I'm gonna guess Citizens Bank Park.
Citizens Bank Park is not on the list.
Yeah, God, that is dumb.
That's one strike. I'll give you 3 strikes. So that's 1.
Okay, that's a dumb one. Who is the fountain? The Marlins did have that thing, but it's not a fountain anymore. It's the oh my goodness, I got it. There's a fountain one I'm thinking of, and
there's a couple of fountains.
Rockies have a fountain, don't they?
They do. Coors Field have a fountain. That's 3.
Okay, that's 3.
A couple more fountains.
Oh, your team. Don't the Brewers have a fountain out there?
No, I mean my team's the Cubs, but the Brewers don't. That's your second strike.
That's a second strike. All right, let me think here for the third one.
There's one.
I feel like that was a rush guess. I shouldn't have counted, but we'll count it.
There's one very obvious one that isn't fountain based, so I can give you a hint. There's 2 on here that are river based. You should be able to get 1.
I mean, I've seen the Cardinals Stadium. I don't remember them having water. I would think St. Louis, is on the river, but what would be the other river one? Oh my goodness, Pittsburgh Pirates, right?
Yep.
It's right. Yeah, it's right on the 3 rivers. Oh my!
On the Allegheny. Exactly.
Allegheny, yeah, 3 River Stadium before that. Okay, that could have been embarrassing. I guess it almost was. I guess it was. So all right, one more. I think
I'll give you the water features. So you've got one,
and I'll just go.
Yeah, one's a river. You got 1 river. You've got 2 fountains. You've got a fountain / waterfall, depending on how you want to look at it, and you've got a ray tank.
Okay, for the ray tank, I'm gonna go. Well, they had to move though, but it still counts, I guess, right? With the Tampa Bay Rays, they don't have a stadium anymore.
Well, so this one I have put on the list. They did actually put netting over the ray tank, but previously it was open and you could hit a home run ball in there. So the ray tank is at Tropicana Field.
And then I'm gonna go. All right, this is wild, and it was not what I was gonna guess originally. But don't the White Sox have a fountain out there in outfield? Or is it the Angels? I was gonna say Angels, but I'll say White Sox. Final answer. I can't switch now.
So this is where it gets a bit weird. I've not included the White Sox because they do have a water feature, but to my knowledge, one has not been hit into that. So I've not got it on the list, but I won't count it as a guess. But because you said it, yes, the Angels do have a waterfall, so that counts.
Okay.
You've got 1, 2, 3. You've got 6. You've got 3 more to go. You should be able to get 1 more if you think of the fountain. There's one very obvious one.
You know how it is, though. Your mind just goes blank. An obvious one.
You've probably, I bet you can picture it. It's the one with all the fountains. Dan's rubbing his head for all of our viewers. Not
Dude, this is tough. All right, I'm just gonna forfeit my last guess, and you tell it because I'm actually at this point I'm a little stumped. I was gonna guess Twins because I know the Twins I think have a fountain.
Nope, Twins is not the right answer.
Okay.
So the three you were missing, you've got Kauffman Stadium for the Kansas City Royals.
Oh,
fountains everywhere.
I know that. Yeah.
You've got a fountain which is a bit less well known at Truist Park in Atlanta. There is a fountain there in center field. And the last one, which I don't think you'd have got, funny enough, Emily, my partner Emily got it when she was guessing, just because she was like, oh, it's on the river, maybe it's happened. Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati, Ohio, is on the Ohio River. And I think it was in 2004, Adam Dunn hit a home run that was 535 feet.
Good God.
It took one bounce and landed in the river. So the Great American Ballpark I've counted on the list. So you got 6 out of 9, which is, I think that's respectable.
I'll take that all day, any day.
Yeah. So that was our tribute.
I like that.
I enjoyed it. We will we'll be doing more of those games as we enter the off season because there's no baseball to talk about. So we've got to talk about something. But yeah, just there's a big Family Fortunes game coming up soon, which I know a lot of our followers have been involved in, and a lot of data collection on my part. But just keep with us in the off season. It's going to be fun. We're going to get weird in a good way.
I think we'll probably run through I think we should listen to like our preseason predictions and then do a comparison at the end of the year. As difficult as it may be, although I did say the Blue Jays would be a sleeper team, and if Dalton Varsho is Mr. October, I might have to hit like I told you so.
Yeah, I mean, you did also say the Orioles were going to sweep the AL East and go to the World Series.
I did.
And a bit like this episode is about to, the Orioles' hopes came to an end.
2026, baby.
Keep dreaming. This has been the Rounders Roundup. I've been Gaz. Dan has been Dan in a Baltimore jersey and sunglasses. You've been fabulous. Until next time, this is the last Rounders Roundup of the regular season. You've been fantastic. We will see you on the next episode. Thank you and goodbye.